Okay, so first of all, what you're going to need is to download a compiler online called DevC++ so that you can actually write and run your program. Now to start writing a program for printing words onto the screen, you're going to need some headers. For this program, along with almost every other program, you're going to need two specific headers. And you can write your headers by putting a # sign, and then an include, and then a less than sign, and then stdio.h, and then a greater than sign. For your second header, you're going to need a # sign include, less than symbol, and an stdlib.h, and then greater than sign. stdio stands for standard input and output header, and stdlib stands for standard library headers. And then what these are doing is allowing us to use a list of functions in our program. We'll only need one function from stdio called printf, and then one from stdlib called system. And without our headers, we wouldn't be able to use these functions. Right after your headers, you're going to need to put int main and then your parentheses. And then this is necessary in order to start the program and make it work. Main is basically just the name of the main part of your program, and int is saying that the following main function can return a value, because int stands for integer. And then after you type this, you can start your actual program by entering an opening brace. And then after this, you can use a printf function to print your words, and to put an opening parentheses and opening quotations, put whatever you want in here. Then put a semicolon at the end of it. After every statement in your program, you're going to need a semicolon at the end of it, except for a few special cases. Then after this, you're going to use this function system, and then put pause in quotations and parentheses. And what this is doing is, whenever the compiler runs, it has to pause when it opens. And without the statement, the compiler would open and then automatically close without giving it a chance to look at it. And after that, you can put return 0 and then a semicolon. And this is basically telling C that, okay, the program was successful, and returns a 0 to the value up top into integer. And then put an ending bracket, and then you can run it. And then it should give you this, what you put in the program. And so now, since you know how to print things on your screen, you can go into variables. There are several types of variables that you can use. There is char for letters, and int for single integers, and float and double for numbers, for long numbers and numbers with decimals. However, double can hold more variables, for more numbers than float can. So we're going to make a double variable, and you can either initialize this to start off with, and set a number into it, or you can just leave it alone and have the user input a number for a variable in the program. But we're going to initialize it, and we're going to name the variable num, and then to initialize it, we're going to put an equal sign and have it equal that number that we want to initialize it to. And we're going to choose 5,000 and put a semicolon. And then what people usually do with number variables, that they're going to be put into an equation. And to start your equation, you can put something like num equals num divided by something like 10, and then add a number like 5, and you can do any type of equation. And make sure you put this in parentheses so that C knows to do it first, and then put a semicolon. And this is basically saying that the original number of num and the original number of num here, the new num is equaling the original number of num divided by 10, and then plus 5, and that will be the new value of num. And then after this, you can print out your answer by using %lf. If it were integer, it would be %d. If it was char, it would use %c. And if it was float, you use %f. But since we have a double, we're going to use %lf. That's just what goes along with it. And then after that, you can put a comma, and then you'll have to put the name of your variable, which is num. Then you can end it right there. And we only have this because there might be like more double variables, and it wouldn't know which one to use. So we have to put a name there. Then after that, you can put the stuff that you put in the last program. System pause and return 0. And put your closing bracket. And then you can run it. And it'll give you the answer right there.
Apples and bananas. I like to eat apples and bananas.